Hey everybody, welcome to the adibiip Group Innovators live Q&A, your daily live cast, bringing you guys answers to common intellectual property questions every single day of the week. We're trying to bring you guys as much useful educational content as possible and just try to answer any questions that you guys might have about patents or trademarks, copyrights, trade secrets, everything involving IP. We want to try to give you guys as much useful content and valuable content as we possibly can. For those of you guys who've been tuning in, we've been creating shows showing you guys how you guys can file trademark applications for various things like clothing, your mobile applications. And then we've been doing also a lot of deep dives looking at other companies' portfolios, patents, trademarks, design patents, seeing how other big companies and smaller mid-sized companies use the intellectual property system to protect their valuable intellectual property rights. So Amir and Victoria are your hosts. This is a big show because this is episode 100. So super excited to bring you guys this content. Maybe we can do just a quick recap, Victoria, of what we did on episode 99, and then we'll jump right into 100, which is going to be, in some ways, a very special episode.
Sure. So on episode 99, we looked through Aurora Innovation's patents.
Yeah, so we try to always be super relevant. And last week, Uber had announced that they were selling their autonomous vehicle group to Aurora Innovation. And so we thought, you know what, let's do a deep dive. Let's see how Aurora Innovation protects their intellectual property. We saw they had a whole trademark portfolio and an even more sizable patent portfolio. So always we want to stay absolutely on top of all the recent developments and help you guys at least provide the IP perspective on what you guys see out there. So if you guys have specific things that you guys want us to cover on the show, please send them to Victoria at adibiip.com. Just shoot her an email with your question or some topic that you want us to cover on the show, and we will do our best to do so. Now, if you guys also are interested in joining our text community, we'd love to have you on it. Please shoot us a text at 415-943-5193. Would love to have you on my text community. You'll get direct text message access to me. You can send me your questions and we'll get them answered. So episode 100, let's get going. Victoria, what is episode 100 about?
Today on episode 100, we are registering a trademark for adibiip Group.
Awesome. So in this episode, this is unusual because I'm actually going to show you guys from start to finish how you guys can do this, like I've done in the past for other marks. However, we're actually doing the entire process here, and I'm going to show you guys live how to do it. So you guys are even going to get to see the end, the filing receipt stage. So let me start off. I just want to show you guys exactly how we're going to go about doing this. So I'm going to share my screen with you so you guys can see. Now, the one thing to remember, so this is our main site. This is one of the specimens that we're going to submit. We're going to submit a screenshot. Let me show you another. I'll just show you right now. I prepped the other screenshots just to save us time. I prepared the other specimens. So let me know if you guys can see this. Oh, I guess you can't see that. Oh, I'll have to show you guys then when we upload it. Well, I don't know why I can't add this to, well, okay. Let's get going. You'll get to see the specimens, but I basically have screenshots of the website, screenshots of our Instagram, and then our business cards. But before we do that, let's go to the trademark ID manual and let's figure out exactly how you guys would go about doing this for your own law firm. So this is going to be super valuable content because a lot of you guys might have law firms out there, maybe small, medium-sized firms, larger firms. This is how you guys can actually go about registering your trademark for your firm. So let's just search for legal services, and we're going to see that class 45 is going to pop right up. So bam, legal services under class 45. So that's the class that we are going to go under. Now let me zoom in. I see it's a little hard for you guys to probably see what we're doing. So let me zoom in. Victoria, let me know if that's good, right? That size. Cool. Okay. So, all right, let's get started. The first thing you want to do is you want to go to tstr.uspto.gov. That's the place to start. Thanks, Victoria, for throwing that up there. And then if you scroll to the left, you'll see File Online. Now, here's one thing to remember. When I click on File Online and then click on Initial Application Forms, it's going to take me directly to the initial application form. When I do, so I'm going to click Start Your Application in TS. TS stands for the Trademark Electronic Application System. But this screen right here, the only reason why it takes me directly here is because I'm already logged into my uspto.gov account. So if you guys are trying to follow along and doing this on your own, just note that after you click start your application, it's going to have you log in. Now, setting up a uspto.gov account, super simple. It doesn't take that long. So I highly encourage you guys to go through the steps of having that set up. But again, if you don't have a uspto.gov account, it doesn't take long, pretty easy to set up. So I'm already logged in. I logged in beforehand just to save you guys the time of having to see that. So once I'm logged in, I'm going to want to click on TS Standard. And then I'm going to click on, now this is an interesting question. So is an attorney filing this application? So I could file it on behalf of the company as an attorney, or I can do it as the owner. This could kind of go both ways. I'm going to go ahead and file it as if I am doing it on my own on behalf of the company. But again, there's multiple ways to do this. So I'm going to go ahead and click, well, actually, given the fact that other attorneys might be doing this for their own firms, I'm actually going to do something unusual in this episode. Normally, what I've been doing in past episodes is I've been filing on behalf of, as if it was the actual business owner. So interestingly, in this one, I'm going to go ahead and say, I'm kind of on the fence here, kind of thinking through this almost out loud. Oh, that's a good point too. TS Standard. Yeah, that's true. It is $50 more. I'm going to go ahead and do it as not the attorney. So I'm gonna just do it as the business owner. Okay, so let's do it as the business owner so you guys can see what that process is like. So I'm going to go ahead and click continue. And then owner of the mark. So now the owner of the mark is going to be the actual entity. In this case, it's going to be adibiip Group PC. So this is our professional corporation. And I'm going to go ahead and do, it's a corporation. It's a California corporation in this particular case. A lot of you might have LLPs, but in this case, we're a California corporation. And then we're going to put our mailing address. So in this case, our mailing address is 5 3rd Street, Suite 622. We're based in San Francisco. And our zip code is 94103. And our phone number, I'm going to go ahead and put our main line, 415-851-256. Then I'm going to go ahead and add our fax number. Also makes sense to provide this information. Now, some of you may be inclined not to. It's really up to you if you want to provide this information. If you don't provide your phone number, you'll get a warning saying, hey, you didn't provide your phone number. But again, not required. I'm going to go ahead and provide both. Email. Now, email is required. So I'm going to go ahead and put our email address as well. And then I'm going to go ahead and put in our website address. Now, I have it open over here, so I'm just going to copy and paste it. And then I'm going to hit continue. Okay, so once we're here, we're going to go ahead and continue. Now we're going to enter the mark. Now for the mark, in this application, we're going to just start off by just doing the actual word mark, so the adibiip group. In future episodes, we can talk about how we might do other variations of this. I'm going to go ahead and click continue. And then for the services, I'm going to click enter manually. So here we're going to actually enter in our services. I'm going to click add goods and services. And then, as I said before, class 45. It's going to cover legal services. And then we're going to file under section 1A. That's because we're already providing legal services under this brand. So for the specimen, I've already prepared them beforehand. I'm going to show you guys. You'll be able to see in this actual application what I'm doing. But effectively, what I did was I took screenshots. So I have various screenshots. One is of our business, and there is of our website. So I'm going to choose this file right here. I'm going to go ahead and click attach. And then I'm also going to click attach for the business card as well. So if I click on open a new tab, okay, now you guys can see it, I believe. You should be able, once it loads. It's kind of a big file. In the meantime, while that's loading, I'm going to add the business card. Oh, it's more than 32 megs. Okay, that's kind of an issue. So two strategies. One thing I can do is I can try to reduce the file size. Another thing that I can possibly do is just make it smaller, maybe crop it out. I'm actually going to try the cropping method. I actually don't think that's issues come up in prior videos, so kind of interesting that it came up now. Let's see. I'm gonna do some cropping over here. Fortunately, you guys can't see what I'm doing, but hopefully this will reduce the size of this file. Let's see if that helps. So I'm going to go ahead and attach another file. This is the smaller one. Ah, okay. So this is hopefully smaller. Let's see. Oh, that's also 33.8 megs. Huh. Okay. So I'm going to have to do a different strategy for, let's see, I'm going to export this as PDF. My apologies for making my viewers wait here. Going to export as PDF. Victoria, that's a good note for us to also make is for when people are doing this on their own, they might want to make sure their specimen sizes are correct. Let's see. Well, here's one strategy. We can just break up the business card into two different PDFs. I guess I'll just do that. So let me, just to help move this forward, I'm going to save this as one PDF. This is going to be back. Of course, we have to have a hookup on episode 100. All right, and then we'll do front. Okay, all right. So, okay, now we got the right sizes. So let's try again. I'm going to go ahead and upload the front card, attach, and then I'll do the back. Okay, so it's attaching. So we're just waiting here, but it's loading now. One other thing I realized is our text is a little small, so let me zoom in. Oh, actually, I can't zoom in until this is done. So yeah, it's just a really big file, guys. But it's kind of good for us to see how these things really work. I guess another thing I can do while I'm waiting is I can maybe see if I can just downsize it, make it just a smaller overall file too, and using Acrobat. If you guys have those types of tools, it's always good to see if you can reduce the file size overall. It just makes it easier to move around, easier to manipulate. Okay, all right, so okay, here's the front. Okay, now I'm gonna do the back. Again, it's gonna take a few seconds because it's a pretty big file. But while we're waiting, let me just say a couple of quick things. So one thing that we're going to do here that's kind of interesting is that we're not going to just do Class 45. What I also want to do is I also want to protect a lot of the valuable educational content that Victoria puts out there for us with the team. Obviously, several of us are involved in that and just putting out valuable content. And so I want to make sure that we also capture that. So I'll real quick, while we're waiting for this to upload, I'll show you guys how you can go about figuring out what class is appropriate. I'll just tell you now, what you're going to realize when you do the search is that educational content is going to be under class 41. But if you didn't know that, you could just do a quick search. Let's see, education. Yeah, so providing educational demonstrations. So this is going to be under class 41. So we're going to go ahead and use that. We'll do class 41, and let's see if it finished uploading. Okay, so it finally uploaded. Okay, cool. So just to show you guys, here's the front, or the okay. So this is the screenshot that we're submitting. So you can see there's a way to access the services. There's buttons to book an appointment or get in contact with us, and then let's see. So that's okay. And then if we click the front, this is going to pull up the actual front of the card, and then back, it's going to pull up the actual back of the business card. Now, again, it's loading. These are big files. My apologies to our viewers, but that's how you guys would go about doing it for your own law firms. Now, again, I apologize for the delay here and these coming up, but they're basically loading. What they're going to see is they're really, really high-res images of our business card. Okay, so this is our business card right here. So I took pictures of both sides, and now I've uploaded them to the TIAS system. So this is the front of the card, and then this is the back of the card. So here it shows adibiip group, and it's in connection with obviously our services. In this case, patent attorney services. So then if I go back, I can return to form, and then I'm going to have to include a description of what the specimen is. So I'm just going to describe it. So specimen is now really, really important. Victoria, I don't know if we have something on for websites for specimens. If you do, maybe you can throw it up. It's okay. I'll just explain real quick. So basically, for specimen, you need to have the URL and the date that you accessed it. So those are the two really, really important items. So I'm going to go ahead and describe it. So first things first, let me zoom in here so you guys can see nice and clearly what I'm doing. So what we want to put in here is description. So you can say a screenshot of a web page, and then for the web page, we'll just put. Let me make sure I have our right web page. Should be precise and correct. Accessed on and today's date, December 14, 2020. Showing, scroll over here so you guys can see, showing use of the mark in connection with legal services. And photographs showing the front and back sides of a business card bearing the mark in connection with legal services, period. Now, data first use anywhere. So this is going to be the first date that you started using, in this case, the adibiip group. I'm going to go ahead and put the date that we officially incorporated. Now, for the data first use in commerce, this is going to be the date that you actually first had actual use in commerce. So you had an out-of-state customer. In this case, for us, that date turned out to be 01/12/2020. Now, fortunately for us, because we also do patent services, we can actually provide our services to out-of-state, non-California clients. So that's actually really, really valuable, because then it permits us, even though we don't, we can't necessarily provide legal services to out-of-state residents in other practice areas. In patents, we can. And so it's a really, really nice benefit of being a patent practitioner. So January 12, 2020, I'm going to go ahead and include that date for the data first use in commerce. And this looks good to go. So then I'm going to click assign filing basis. And once I've done that, what you guys are going to see is we can actually move forward. So one thing I also want to do is I want to add service educational content around intellectual property. So for example, a lot of these useful videos that we provide here, I want to make sure that we also include those. Now, remember, each class is $275, so this is actually going to up the filing fee. So just keep that in mind, that that is going to affect your filing fees. So class 41, and we're going to go ahead and say, so let's say providing educational content around on intellectual property. Related to intellectual property. Actually, let's pull it out. Oh, it can be vague. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and do the same. I will do section 1A because we're actually providing the content already. And again, I'm going to go ahead and attach specimens. I'm going to start by showing the specimen of our actual website because our website has educational content related to intellectual property. And then I'm also going to include a link to our a screenshot, sorry, of our Instagram page. So if you go to Instagram and let me pull up our Instagram, you can actually see we have a lot of educational content there. And there's our mark right here. So I'm going to go ahead and submit that as well as part of our specimen. So let me attach that. I already prepared the PDF beforehand, so you guys wouldn't have to wait. Hopefully we don't have the size issues that we had with the business card. This should be good to go. I'm going to go ahead and click attach. Their interface for uploading PDFs is really simple. Remember, it's got to be a PDF or a JPEG. And we learned recently that it has to be less than 30 megs. So be cautious of that. So I'm going to go ahead and open link a new tab just so you guys can see what it is that I'm submitting. So this is the adibiip group Instagram page. So I'm going to go ahead and submit that. Okay, so let's get back to the application. I'm going to go ahead and click return to form. And then I'm going to go ahead and continue filling this out. So again, remember, as I said before, whenever you submit screenshots of web pages for specimens, you're going to need to include the URL as well as the date that you accessed it. If you don't do that, you're going to get a refusal. The examiner is going to actually require you to include, submit a new specimen that has that information. So I'm going to say a screenshot of a web page and then our web page. That includes accessed on, and then today's date. That includes educational content related to intellectual property. Access on 10/14/2020. That includes a mark in connection with educational content related to intellectual property. And then we're going to copy the same format and a screenshot. So let me scroll over so you guys can see. It's kind of hard to see what I'm doing. And a screenshot of a web page. And then here we're going to put our Instagram page that I showed you guys before. Technically, I don't need this part of it. I just need this part right here. And then when I put that in, this is also accessed on December 14, 2020. That includes the mark in connection with educational content related to intellectual property. So I just realized, let's just consolidate this. Let's just keep it tight. It's a little wordy unnecessarily. So I'm just going to combine them. So let's just say a screenshot of web pages accessed on December 14, 2020 that includes a mark in connection with educational content related to intellectual property. Okay, there we go. And then again, This date's going to be the same for us. We started putting content out right away. And then we'll go ahead and put 1/12/2020 and assign filing basis. So there you go. So now we have class 41, educational content, and then also legal services under class 45. So I'm going to go ahead and click continue. We're most of the way there. I'm going to go ahead and put a reference. I'm going to go ahead and put in our firm initials, T01. I'm going to include a bunch of secondary email addresses just for courtesy copies. I'm going to include some of our incredible team members that I'm so grateful to have on the team, and that pretty much keep our operations awesome and running. Okay, so we can put up to 4 email addresses. So I'm going to put team members on here, and then I'm going to go ahead and click continue. Now, once we get here, we see the 550. So this is where we're actually going to be paying. Now, I'm going to go ahead and click sign directly because I'm going to go ahead and sign it on behalf of the company. So I'm going to go ahead and click. Now, one thing you have to do is you should read this carefully. You should understand what it is you're actually attesting to. One is that you believe that you've actually been using it in commerce. You believe that you're the owner. You have a right to the mark. This checkbox is saying that there's, as far as you're aware, you have a right to use it, so there's no other confusingly similar marks. The third checkbox is saying that there's factual support. So for example, all the specimens that I submitted, they're actually true and correct. And then this final one is saying that I'm signing under penalty of perjury. So once I do that, I can go ahead and sign. They make signing super simple. All you do is you put your name within slashes. I'm going to put my name. Now, technically, because I'm doing this on behalf of the company, not as the attorney, I'm going to go ahead and put my title with the adibiip group. So president, and then all I need to do now is just, if you push the date box, it automatically fills today's date for you. They make it really, really convenient. And then I'm going to go ahead and put my phone number. So 415-851, oops. That's 25666. There we go. 415-851-2566. So I'm going to go ahead and click validate. So now I've signed it. Application has been validated. So we're almost at the end. We'll be able to file here shortly. Now, before we do that, one thing I want to do is I want to go ahead and do some things like I want to save the form. So I'm going to go to the very bottom and I'm going to click save form. This is going to be useful because I think in future episodes, we're talking about possibly doing a few follow-up episodes where we actually file on our actual logo. So I'm going to go ahead and save the form. That way I can show you guys how you guys can go about using this as a tool for the marks that you guys do. If you guys plan to do multiple marks, it's a lot easier if you have a form that you can just upload because it has all your information already stored. So it's going to download what's called a .obj file. You can save it. You can use it to refile tomorrow if you want, like if you're not entirely sure about submitting today. But again, this is the 100th episode. We're going to go big. We're going to do a full filing. You'll see it, filing receipt at the end of this episode. So it's pretty cool. Before we do that, let's just review everything and make sure that everything is actually correct in the application. So I'm going to kind of click on input, and then I'm going to click on the mark. I'm going to take a look at it to make sure the mark looks good to me. Again, it's just a adibiip group. So again, looks good, adibiip group. Look good to you, Victoria? Victoria says it's awesome. So there's our PC. For those of you who don't know, PC stands for Professional Corporation. 5 3rd Street. This is our address, 622. Super grateful to be in the heart of San Francisco, California, 94103. That's our zip. This is our phone number, 415-851-2566. This is our fax, 415-873-2284. Here's our email. Here's the website address. And then corporation, California, 45. So this is okay. So this is the legal services under class 45. And this is the specimens, business cards, the website, dates of first use. And here's a screenshot of a web page. Oh, Oh, right. So this is the specimen description. Yeah. So this is describing that this is our screenshot. Remember, URL and date of access. These are really important. Otherwise, your specimens will be rejected. And then the photographs showing the front and back sides of the business card. And then again, 41 is educational content. Again, we started putting content right away. Then we put a link to our Instagram and also our actual business site, which has a lot of educational content on there. So this all looks good. This is the secondary email addresses for secondary reference. So they're also going to receive courtesy copies of what we filed today. And again, we're doing the TS standard. And again, I'm signing as the president, and this looks good. So I'm going to go ahead and click back. And then I'm going to, I zoomed out. Let me zoom in for you guys. My apologies. And then click on mark, and you guys can see another nice big image of our actual mark. So it should obviously match what you're seeing on my business card. Again, very important, you guys, make sure that the mark you submit is actually your mark. Like if there's a typo in it, that's a problem. You'll have to submit a whole new mark. So it's a costly mistake. Don't make it. Read everything carefully. Make sure that it's correct. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and click back. The mark looks good to me. Specimens look good. You can double check them if you want. I already have them open. All the specimens look good. Again, we can go back and take a quick look, but overall, everything looks good to go. So that said, let's get this application in. The only other thing that I want to explain to you guys, I already explained to you guys how you guys can save the form if you're not sure, if you want to maybe use the application to do another filing the next day. Save the form. The very last thing you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to check this box here. This box indicates 3 important things. One is that, like I said before, no refunds. So if you misspell your mark, you have to submit a whole new application, pay a whole new set of filing fees. The second is that you have no right to confidentiality. In other words, everything that we submit in this application today is gonna become public record, okay? So keep that in mind. The last and third thing is that you might receive solicitation from these third-party services that basically solicit you for fees that you aren't actually owed. It's a whole scam. You can read all about it here. If you get a letter, which you probably will, we can see that the trademark office actually keeps really, really good records. So you can actually see what these look like. If you click on some, you'll see, again, all fees that you pay for the trademark are going to be paid through the trademark office site. So that's a huge red flag. Another big red flag is the trademark office is in Alexandria, Virginia. Okay, so if you get something from New York, from Texas, from Utah, another big red flag that it's a scam. So, but if you're unsure, just go to this link. We also have videos on misleading notices. So just Google misleading notices, adibiip, and you'll see. You can learn more about it. Okay, so this looks good. I'm gonna go ahead and click pay submit, and then we're gonna be in business. So this screen here is gonna allow me to actually input our credit card information. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go offline, but we're going to do it. So you're actually going to get to see the filing receipt, what it actually looks like when you go through the entire process. So let's take a quick look. So it's just pulling it up. So all you have to do is click submit your payment method, and then we're going to input it in here, and our address is already filled out. So I'm going to go ahead and unshare for a second. Bring Victoria back on if she wants while I do this. How'd I do, Victoria?
It was good. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I'm hoping that people will actually be able to use this because it's kind of cool actually seeing the full filing process, because normally what I've been doing in the past is we duck out, but not today. Today we're all in. We're actually submitting the actual payment so we can actually show our viewers what it looks like. So I just hit submit. Let me add this back to the stream. This is it right here. So now we see this is what the actual page looks like. Please zoom in so you guys can see. This is what you will see if you guys are doing this on your own. You're going to see a submission successful. You'll see the actual trademark serial number right here. So this is it. So you're going to want to save that serial number. Okay, this is the serial number that's going to be connected with your application throughout the entire process, and even after it issues. So keep that in a safe spot. You'll be able to always see the status of your trademark. All you have to do is copy it and then go to tsdr.uspto.gov, and then you can input it in here. Now, will it show up now? Probably not, because it takes some time for the records to be updated. But it should definitely be up by tomorrow. Yeah. So, oh, maybe it'll be up even now. Let's see. Anyways, while that's loading, one thing I want to show you guys also is we can actually save the filing receipt. So I'm going to go ahead and click save. And then let me see if I can open it in the browser so you guys can actually see. Oh, yeah, here we go. Oh, wait, no, it doesn't let me show you guys. But here, let me open it, and then I'll share that so you guys can actually see what an actual filing receipt looks like. So I'm going to go ahead and click. Give me a second. I just need to share this. Okay, so this is the actual filing receipt that the Trademark Office spits out. So you can actually see, here's our serial number right here. adibiip group, that's the mark that we just filed on. And then all the application information is down here. Now remember, guys, this is all public now. So yeah, I have the PDF, but if I lose it, if I didn't save it for some reason, it doesn't matter. I can still go onto the Trademark site and actually pull all this information. Anybody can. It's all public. It's all out there now. So again, there's the owner information and everything that we submitted. It's going to be here and part of the public record. So again, this is how you go about filing a trademark application for your law firm, or for, yeah, really law firm, or if you're creating intellectual property around law. I mean, this is one hopefully useful video that you guys can use for protecting your own marks that you guys use for providing legal services. So definitely highly recommend you guys use this, and hopefully you guys find this tool very useful, this content very useful for you guys' own businesses. So again, this is a filing receipt. Here's our filing date, 12/14. This is a serial number. You're going to want to save that, and you'll be able to always access the state of your site. Sorry, of your trademark. So before we end the episode, let me just see if the Trademark Office backend's been updated. I don't think so. It usually takes a little longer. It usually takes at least a few hours, if not a day, for them to load the trademark to update the TSDR. So this is episode 100. This is our 100th episode. Thank you so much, Victoria. Really appreciate having your help making this awesome content, and looking forward to bringing you guys hundreds of 100 more episodes at least. All right, so in the future, let's follow up with some more cool trademark filing, start to finish, so you guys can see nuts and bolts of how you guys can go about doing this for your own practices. Thank you so much. If you guys have specific topics that you want us to cover on future shows, email Victoria. She's at victoria@adibiip.com. We also have a community number. Join our text community, 415-943-5193, 415-943-5193. Would love to have you on my text community. You get direct access to me. When you text that number, you text me directly. I'll get it. I'll reply. And if you have questions, we'll get them on the show. So thank you so much for watching this very special 100th episode, and looking forward to bringing you guys